The stream died. It cut out. We're not live no more, man.
Oh, we aren't? Okay, hold up. We should be coming back in a second.
The instant you left.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Yep.
How?
I don't know.
I always do. Your
It's coded. It's coded to your DNA, bro.
That's so freaking weird. All right, it should be live now. I have no idea what happened. That's insane.
It's coded to your DNA, man. It's Iron Man 3.
Oh God.
Give me a suit. You're like, sorry, buddy. It's only coded to me.
That's literally what it is, man. So it should be someone double check if it's back up now. Are you serious? It died.
It's up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's up now.
All right. Well, sorry about that, you guys. Apparently, I'm tethered to this thing, so I guess you could say it's one of the strands. Dun dun dun.
Oh no! I refuse to segue on that. I refuse.
Well, what a way to make an intro. So, did you guys do your intros at all, or?
We didn't get to. We started to, and they said stream dead.
Holy shit, that's crazy. Okay, all right. So, intro time, y'all. Go ahead.
I got a calzone, guys.
I got my food. I got my food too. I just got off work, y'all. I'm a hungry motherfucker.
Bro, same. I just got off work. Oh my god.
Oh, this is hitting.
I need food. They didn't even touch my.
I got me some ground beef. What is this? Jasmine rice. Some ground beef, some jasmine rice, an avocado. Your boy's hungry, y'all.
Hey, straight up, man.
I got nothing. I've got Gatorade. That's what I got.
This man Dan.
What?
Never.
What happened?
I don't.
Wait, what happened?
I said I've never had lobster.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of places around here that like serve it.
Right.
And I'm reluctant to eat there anyway, just because like most of the places around here that serve it frozen.
Oh, yeah, you got some suspect ass.
You had to set up and manage
Yeah, I mean, shrimp we can get by the bucket, but not lobster. Not here anyways.
Oh, I can mess up some shrimp.
I don't like seafood. Period.
What?
Really? Oh my god, I love street food. Bro.
Oh man, fish is good.
You don't like fish, bro?
Damn, you don't even like salmon?
I don't like seafood, man.
Wow.
You mean to tell me if somebody slaps a nice piece of fish on your plate, you won't eat it?
Hell no.
Dang,
oh
bro.
my god.
I love me some seafood.
I know how to take down Rob.
You better not miss.
You better go for the head. Alrighty. Okay, alright. So, intro time. Let's get into that. Flanking on my left, we got Danny D's World. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Playing Pokemon, that's about it.
I'm playing Pokemon too, but I'm playing Black too.
Ooh. Nice. Pokemon is for the blacks.
What?
And just because this guy already had to interject, Jamil, a.k.a. the God of Shortmen, a.k.a. Game Inspector, formerly known as Comics Explained, a.k.a. how many damn names you gonna have in less than a year?
It wasn't a year. It was like 2 years.
Okay, Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget. Oh. Calzone Crusader. That's gonna be your name for today.
Yeah.
Calzone Crusader.
I should probably trademark that.
I'm telling you might as well. Hey,
Hey, do it and sell it as a mascot, bro. You could make bank that way.
exactly. Do it. And we got the homie Rots112. What's up, brother?
What is going down, man? It's good to be back with the squad.
Amen. Always a good time. All right, so everyone, I apologize for all the unprofessionalism going on tonight, but hey, you know how it is. Like we all had stuff to do.
They know why they're here.
Yeah, there's that, and y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. So we have a couple of topics we want to hit on tonight. We have a lot of stuff to catch up on. So what should we start with first, considering it's been a pretty controversial past 2 weeks for gaming? What do y'all want to hit on?
Oh, man.
Let's go in order of release. So Death Stranding.
All right. So
Damn,
as y'all
y'all
know,
start out swinging.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, better way, go big or go home. So Death Stranding came out last week, and as many people can surmise, the game, it was a
It's
game.
booty cheddar.
Well, there we go. I didn't want to lead off with that, but this man, Danny, straight up came up and said,
straight up booty cheddar.
damn. All right, so you know what? I'm going to let Danny lead with this because I got to chew me some food.
All right, look, fun is a very subjective thing. That being said, this is not subjective. That's just tedium. But look, my whole thing with Death Stranding was like when it was first announced. I thought it was weird, thought it was trippy, but it's like it had me curious, and I actually went into this wanting to support it because after all the crap Konami pulled with Kojima and everything, I really wanted, him to be able to enjoy having some freedom and be able to enjoy being able to make whatever he wants now, and so on. And then, time went by, we heard next to nothing about it. And then we started hearing more and more about how this was going to be revolutionary, how this was going to be creating its own genre, how this was going to do to establish a new genre what Metal Gear Solid had done to invent the stealth genre, which it didn't do. And normally that's the kind of noise that I can ignore because it's fanboy noise. It's, just a bunch of BS, except it was coming from Kojima himself. And that, for me, was one of the big red flags around this game. Between that and him wanting to talk more about, how impactful his game was going to be, and him being willing to show this off to all these other auteurs and make the people he expected to buy it sit in the dark and wonder about what was going on there. That was not sitting well with me. And then we got gameplay, and it was weird, but I was hoping it was misdirection, and then we find out no, it's not misdirection. That what we saw was literally what we were going to get. In fact, it was
What it is.
yeah. In fact, there's actually less of the action-y portions than people realize.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is this. Hideo Kojima is the guy that was able to create one of the most impactful stealth games ever made. And if, in my honest opinion, to this day, there's still nothing quite like Metal Gear Solid, even in its own genre. So, and the thing about it is he did all of that with none of the things he has with Death Stranding. He made Metal Gear Solid what it was off of the creativity, not just him, because it wasn't just him, the creativity of him, his team, great people like David Hayter and the like. And he did it all with, just hard work and creativity. Whereas Death Stranding had a Blake Chang for Sony, a bunch of high-profile actors, which I, for the most part, am kind of torn on in video games. But despite all of that, it doesn't really say much.
Oh, bro, that's something I want to talk about.
Oh, I was about to say, there is something I needed to get y'all's insight on, because I know, Dan, you've probably done more research into this whole thing as far as Death Stranding is concerned with the actors. But I mean, I just want, because I know a lot of people are asking, like, oh, what do you think about this, with that? I mean, I've already done a video on Death Stranding, and my whole point with the podcast is to give this as a platform for Danny, Rob, and Jamil to voice their opinions on it, and then we can just discuss it and the discourse surrounding it. But I do want to pose some questions to y'all. So, with the topic of Death Stranding, the discussion of video games as art keeps being brought up, and the concept of fun being subjective. Now, do you guys think on some level there's some type of disconnect between the creator and the reviewer, like, they can't separate the fact that Kojima is working on this game and how they are reviewing it. Do you guys think there is that level of like disconnect that's happening where they have to turn off their brain of looking at it critically for what it is, and they just look at it as, oh, it's a Hideo Kojima game, so
But
so some people will never admit it, but that is exactly what they do.
Man, there ain't a disconnect there. There's a whole damn canyon. It's just, no, I am not kidding when I say that their lips are so vacuum sealed to Hideo Kojima's butt cheeks right now that, like, when you can sit there and describe a game, and okay, you know what? I'm not even talking about number scores at this point, okay? Throw those out the window. Don't look at those. In fact, you know what? Do that for every game. Don't pay attention to review scores. Pay attention to what they say. Because when I see people saying some of the same things for Death Stranding that I saw them say that I saw some of the more hardcore shills try to say for Crackdown 3 when they were given that good scores, oh sure, it's very bare bones. It's empty, it doesn't have quite, what we were expecting. We expected better, but I'm still enjoying it personally, so I'm going to.
How does that translate to a 10?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with this, Oh, it's slow, it's frustrating, it's infuriating. There are times you're going to want to rage quit. There will be times you will rage quit. You're not going to have fun with this game, but you have to play it because it's so important for the industry. How? How? You want to know how it's important for the industry? Because it's a very detailed guide on how to waste money and not make a good game. That's how.
Ooh.
Sony got finesse. That's the whole.
I mean, did they? The game is selling from what I've been.
Oh, I mean, obviously,
Unfortunately, yeah, I know what you mean, but the whole thing. Okay, so here's the thing, though, and I've seen this brought up a lot. And okay, I need to preface this as such before some people in the chat get it twisted. No, we're not saying you can't enjoy Death Stranding. We're not saying you can't have fun and spend your money how you want to. We're just talking about the discussion surrounding the game and how it's just very spooky. How certain people are describing it and their experience playing it. Oh, and speaking of which, I want to bring up that word experience because you hear that thrown around a lot with this game. 2019, I've heard the word experience thrown around more for this game than anything else.
Any game.
Anything. So let's talk about the experience. Like, everyone's saying it's dull, monotonous, boring, it's a chore, but it's the fact that it's all about the experience of playing it. That's what makes it interesting.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The biggest thing I see praised is like the social system in it. Like how, stuff you leave there, other people can encounter it. That's all well and good, but I have a lot of qualms with that myself, so I'm actually going to sit on this for a minute. And yeah.
So from what people basically like, because I'm actually going to be redboxing the game like in a couple hours actually after this.
Nice.
But
that's why I was actually waiting to jump in because I've played a considerable amount of.
Rob, go ahead, give us your impressions, brother.
Yeah.
And tell them where you coming from, because I know some people are gonna be here like, oh, you don't understand Kojima. Tell them where they come from.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing everybody says. The best I can say after playing a significant chunk of Death Stranding, I went from like, my default was like, man, it's about to be like somewhat cinematic trash. That's how I felt at first. But now, like, my whole mindset has changed to where I just feel like in the middle, where I'm just like, it's just another game that came out this year.
Oh wow!
Like, at best, that's the best I can say about Death Stranding. It's just another game that came out. And y'all know me, I fucking love Metal Gear Solid, so it's not like I was against Kojima the whole time and none of that. After playing it, I don't have any crazy praise for it, and I could curb stomp it because I did kind of get annoyed when certain things happened in the game that led to a lot of backtracking and losing vehicles. But that's a whole story I could tell another day. But it's like, it's just in the middle. It's just a game that comes out, it's going to get its score, and then on to the next one. Is game of the generation? I don't feel that. I don't even feel game of the year. I told y'all my game of the year months ago.
Oh, we don't know that.
Yeah, it's just another game that came out. Now, when you play, like if you're one of those people and you bought the game and you play it, it's one of those games where you can almost do this with any game. Like with any game where you can kind of just I don't want to say hypnotize yourself, but like you can just kind of make yourself indulge in it. Like, well, since I got it, let me
Yeah,
just go
you
ahead
you
and just
can
Right.
you can adjust and be like, yeah, I can, fuck with this.
exactly, and when you do that in Death Stranding, that's how you catch yourself putting so much time in. Like, yeah, I'm about to deliver these motherfucking packages, and shit. And then,
You gotta hype yourself up
and
to do
then,
that shit.
Yo, for real, and it's like, it's almost like a sprint. Yeah, and a sprint, you like, yeah, got an S on that, got an S on that. I ain't get no damage here, and all this. Oh yeah, this going smooth. But then when you start realizing that it's starting to become, it went from daytime and now it's starting to become nighttime outside IRL, and you still doing that shit, like, bruh, like we've been doing this shit a while actually. Like,
Damn.
and that's where me, because I was playing, my brother's the one that bought it, and we were playing it all damn day. And at some point, that's where it started to kind of drag for us. It was like, oh man, like we let ourselves indulge in it, but then after a while, we just like, man, we still doing this shit. And yeah, people keep saying after 10, 12, 16
Oh
hours,
god.
Oh
things
God.
change.
Oh god. So it's the new Final Fantasy
Yeah,
13.
exactly. And basically things change, and that's when you finally kind of get over the hill and shit starts like happening. And it really tends to throw you a bone when you start getting like more gadgets, more into the different uh hardware, shit like that. Basically shit to try to make your life easy as they can make it.
Hmm.
Cause you just been like walking across this map most of the time and shit.
Mm-hmm.
From that point on, that's why I say like okay, it just began to coast and just be another game and shit like that. It's like those first 10 hours or whatever, they can be rough if you ain't got the will for it.
This man said
So
if you don't got the willpower for it, what is this? The
if,
Is
Marines?
that
if you ain't got the
fair?
willpower for it, because I another friend of mine, we were both big Metal Gear fans. We went to high school. That's all we used to talk about. And he got Death Stranding the day it came out, and then I think it was like 3 days later when I called him and I heard like Mortal Kombat 11 in the back. I'm like, damn, you already playing something else? He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, oh well, shit, okay.
The few
So,
the
but it's like
proud.
he needed to step away for a minute. He needed a break from that shit. Like when you go to work and you need a break and shit, you're like, I'm on break right now.
Damn.
So just like alcohol, it is an acquired taste. But overall, I mean, until we do end up finishing it, right now it's just in the middle for me. It's just another game that came out. That's it.
All right,
So
look, here's my take on it. I just, first and foremost, I do not believe in any game like forcing itself to be tedious. I don't think that that's conducive to anything. I understand, like, from a starting point, if you wanted to like make a certain part of the game like, that, I understand that to a point. I understand slow burns. I understand build up. When used correctly, that can actually be a really narrative device. The problem is, this game doesn't really do that, and it puts you through the ringer with that. And like, I'm sorry, but when they make something so tedious that the thrill for you comes in finally being able to walk across that field without falling over, that's not fun.
Oh
That's
god.
not good. That's
yeah,
not, what you're feeling after that isn't a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of relief that,
Damn.
yeah,
oh, I don't have to do that again.
AG the
Or
Great
this will
just
be
left the
easier
great.
next
He
time.
left a
Or,
great comment. He's like, "Damn, he's describing jail, not a game."
exactly.
yo, for real, man. I got a quick gameplay story to tell about Death Stranding, but I'll let Danny finish
Oh yeah,
first.
go ahead, Danny.
It's like this kind of sums up when the game started to turn around for me. It was like a little annoyance, but go ahead, Danny. I mean, cut you off.
Well, the thing is, when you get like to a certain point in the game too, like you'll finally start seeing things that other players left and everything, and that's all well and good. But
So
like,
Dark Souls.
kind of, yeah, that's what I mean. First of all, we kept being told how this was going to be this big defining thing that has never been experienced before in games, except it has. It just tweaks it a bit, you know.
Like every game does.
Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me. The other thing though is like the whole thing requires like server connectivity, right? What's going to happen if eventually, because it does happen to every game, they have to shut those servers down? You know, what's going to happen then? You're not going to have that element in the game at all. It's just
That's
going to be
probably why
completely
they're
not there.
porting it to PC. So hopefully they give it custom servers. But you are right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like
because they made it so you don't even need plus for that
if
shit.
you
So
if
that
you
shit's mandatory.
if you want something to stand as a work of art, putting an expiration date on it is completely counterintuitive. That's my opinion. Like the thing about Kojima is he has this love for trying to make art out of everything. The problem is when your biggest influence, first and foremost, is film, and you try to apply that to a game, it doesn't always translate well. But second of all, some of the greatest films out there are great because they stand the test of time. You can go back, you can watch them. There's if someone were to make this film that's supposed to be this artistic, art house film or whatever, but they made it on film that intentionally dissolves after like 2 years. So you only have this 2-year window that you can experience it and then it's gone. Is that something that's really going to stand the test of time, or is that something that's just going to exist for a while and sell on a gimmick? And that's one thing that gets me about that gameplay element too. It's a cool idea, it's a cool concept, but it will always inherently have a shelf life. So if someone tries to pick this game up like 10 years down the line, unless those servers are, even assuming that it's on PC.
No, this is coming to PC.
No, I mean, assuming that they keep them alive on there. Because if they decide for whatever reason they're not going to keep them alive, then you got to hope that, you can find someone who's got like custom private servers or something that they're keeping alive and get in there and play it on that. But assuming it's kept alive on PC, that's going to be the only way you can play it. The PS4 servers will, no matter what, eventually shut down. So Monster Hunter has a shelf life too. But see, nobody's trying to claim Monster Hunter is high art or something super important for all the.
Yeah, and there's that, and also, I mean, Monster Hunter, you can play that offline. Like, it's a perfectly good offline experience, and it's got local play attached to it. I mean, Call of Duty and Overwatch, you do have a point with that one, but let's be real.
Well, I mean, I play Call of Duty for the campaign, so I'm.
Well, that too, but not to deflect, but let's be real about life for a second. All the Call of Duties are still playable online. Even you can still go back and play games like World at War. What are the odds that this type of single player game with online components is going to be relevant past 5 years? Like, I'm just being real. Like, even Sony doesn't keep those exclusives open long.
Well, yeah, I mean, isn't the reason that most of those Call of Duty games are still alive anyways because it's peer-to-peer and not dedicated servers?
Exactly.
Yes. So basically, the only way you get to play online is if enough other people are playing.
Yeah, they didn't start doing dedicated server. I don't know. Do they? I don't know. It's still issues with that.
But like, but that's a big. But that's also like a topic of game preservation.
Yeah.
Like, if once you like start putting shelf lives on games, the way you want to experience them changes. Because like down the line, you won't be able to do that anymore.
Death Stranding is a game. It's not high art. Critics are potential both ends. Well, no. Well, it's not just the critics who are calling it high art. That was Kojima, bro.
Oh, that's Kojima.
That's Kojima. We're not even
BSing.
We're not even. He's insisting. Like, we're not trying to speak.
I wouldn't even be. Look, I don't care what critics say half the time. I care about what I have to say about something. If take that for what it's worth. Yeah. But I if Kojima himself wasn't trying to insist that this was high art, I wouldn't be talking about it from the perspective of high art.
These are
he's the one that said it's a new genre, and I'm like, okay, bro, all right, we'll see.
This is an important thing, though, to discuss, even as a game, because one of the biggest selling points, according to everyone who has played it, even the people who wound up not liking it, is this social strand system, he calls it, the multiplayer element that will not be there in a few years. But if it's so integral to the game and even the point and message of the game, like Kojima insists it is, then in a few years' time, that is going to inevitably be lost.
Yeah. You were gonna say something, Rob?
Yeah. I think I might have lost it, actually. I was going to say something. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, the whole topic of shelf life, it's an issue for games, but come on. Like, games like Dark Souls that have, like, the online connections, you don't need them. Sure, you benefit from having them, but you can still play the game offline, have a great experience. With something like Death Stranding, I remember now. In its core, that's what it's pushing, more so than anything.
Yeah. I remember now. I was like, I haven't attempted it. I'm assuming if you play Death Stranding offline, it's gonna be a bald ass map. Like, because there's like whole structures and shit that like some shit actually like gives you health and stamina that people leave and stuff. So I can only imagine how exhausting you would be. You would feel like the first man on Earth.
Basically.
Also,
you had to build all that shit yourself.
Also, someone in the chat brought up that, and I agree with this, that just because something is different does not mean it's good, which is like absolutely true. Like, bro.
But the thing that, like, okay, again, I want to emphasize this. The entire reason that I am talking about this feature and the fact that this feature has a shelf life and that affecting the game isn't just because it's a shelf life on a game. Like, a lot of games have shelf lives, people still buy them, whatever. That's not the point. The point is, this is something that is supposedly integral to not just the gameplay, but also the game's story, the game's theme, the game's everything. This is something that Kojima has insisted is like integral to his game. When that is gone, that is going to change how you experience the game drastically and will actually impact even the message that he's trying to get across. At least in terms of delivering that message via gameplay, which he said he set out to try to do.
Whereas in Metal Gear Solid, you can go play the whole series right now and still get the message.
Yep.
All right.
See, that's the thing about this with me. Hideo Kojima was a man who back in the day took game concepts that even the people at Konami thought were going to be trash. They're going to be garbage. They're going to be, they're not going to sell. But they're like, okay, fine, whatever, do whatever. If it makes money, good. If not, you're never doing this again. And what did he do? He made Metal Gear. What happened after that? He made Snatcher. Snatcher was a game that was like very minimalist graphically, which is almost the opposite of what he does now, but very minimalist graphically. And yet he managed to deliver a very compelling game, a compelling narrative. People remember it fondly to this day.
And there's still no game like Snatcher, by the way. Like there's still like, you can get maybe a little bit close with some visual novels, but they just don't hit the way Snatcher does. It's crazy.
And he made a very genuinely beautiful game. He managed to make it a tribute to one of his favorite films. It's a very clear Blade Runner homage, and that comes across beautifully while still feeling original. That man is the Hideo Kojima I respected. I didn't always enjoy his games. That's more of a genre thing. I'm not big on stealth games, period. But I respected him, and I respected what he did for gaming. I respected him enough to at least give his games a shot, too. Like, even if I didn't play that, even if I didn't enjoy it, per se, I wanted to at least play it once, I don't feel compelled to do that with Death Stranding. I do not feel that same weight as I did with Death Stranding. Kojima went from a man who was in love with games and art to a man who was in love with the process and the visuals and the actors and everything else. Like,
he's still wrong for what he did to David Hayter, and no one will ever be able to.
Oh, I know.
No one
And
will ever be able to convince me
Major
otherwise.
blackout
even
for
some of
me,
the stuff
man.
that he did with Death Stranding when he was trying to talk, didn't he make that comment about getting real actors for this game?
That better have been a
I
mistranslation.
hope it was a mistranslation.
I hope that was a
I don't,
mistranslation.
Yeah, well, a
but how
lot of
many
people.
times can they mistranslate?
Yo,
him?
exactly.
They
I was about to
mistranslate-
say that,
Well, I
bro.
know
I was about
they
to
they
say everything
supposedly
mistranslated,
mistranslated
mistranslated.
that. They supposedly mistranslated him saying that this was an allegory for Brexit and Trump. They supposedly mistranslated, even though they didn't. Him saying that Americans were just too stupid to appreciate this game, unlike Europeans and the Japanese.
Yeah, you know, because all we like is them shooters, you know.
Yep.
So here's the thing. I want to end off my piece with Death Stranding. I'm sorry. Listen, you can. I'm not saying you can't enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. Have fun. But if you come on here and say you did not have fun playing this game, but it's amazing, you don't get to use the Dark Souls comparison of, well, Dark Souls is hard and frustrating, but I have fun playing that. No,
that's
Dark Souls and difficulty is a different conversation versus Death Stranding and you not getting fulfillment and proper enjoyment out of it. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry, but what other... Listen, I pose this question to everybody who says this. You sit here, you say you don't enjoy it. You don't enjoy it. It's tedious, it's frustrating, it's boring. Name me any other game that you have ever played and you walked away saying it's amazing despite all that stuff. Because if you come out here and play any other game and you say it's tedious, monotonous, boring, but you have fun with it, that's it. That's all I'm trying to say. Keep that same energy for games going forward.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna criticize anyone in the chat, not naming names, who had fun with it. If you had fun with it, if you still managed to find fun in that, good for you. I just think, and I think you need to agree with me, I think you do agree with me, that the fact that critics would say in their review, you know, this game is not fun, it's boring, it's frustrating, it's aggravating, everything else. Yeah. But, you know, it's still a 10 out of 10 and you need to play it. That is, there's something up with that.
Goddamn 10. I want to take this second to say this story real quick about what happened when we was playing.
Oh yeah.
Death Stranding. And some might look at it. I mean, from the outside perspective, some probably gonna look at it as a nitpick. But if you look from the perspective of playing that shit, you can see why it was something that would seem small, but it annoyed the hell out of me. Because another problem is like accessibility. A lot of things is like very tedious to get done. Like some people in several videos pointed out, like the process you got to get through the fucking fast travel. You got like a couple cutscenes you got to skip through and all that shit just to get to the private.
Didn't MGS5 have that issue too, like a little bit?
It more than likely did. Kojima does shit like that.
So
like
I
remember,
he doesn't let you skip
not to cut you off. I just remember like you have to like sit in a chopper ride, then you can like sit. And then that was, but go ahead. I just remember.
Wait, does Death Stranding still do that thing after every mission as the credits and it says a Hideo Kojima game?
Nah. That you could tell that was spite right there. That was spite.
That was some gangster shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Cause they can take my name off the box. They can't take it out the game.
No, what kills me is
put this shit everywhere.
What kills me is that means nobody in Konami. Either Kojima hid that shit until it went gold, or nobody checked it.
Exactly. That shit was everywhere. That shit was actually low key getting on my nerves. I was like, bro. But yeah. One thing is definitely with accessibility, and several people will tell you, because some people was like, I've watched people play and they would say shit like, "Yo, I don't need a whole cutscene every time I drop off these damn boxes and shit," because they like go skip and all that. All right. So there was one moment we was playing. It was still relatively early, maybe 4 hours in, and we had got to this one terminal to accept the delivery, right? And I'm gonna try to label these areas as best as possible. So I'm gonna say we were at Terminal A, and we had 2 deliveries from this terminal.
Oh my god!
One Terminal B, which was a hell of a fucking walk, because this is before it's a good little stretch before you even find a vehicle. So it was a hell of a walk, and so we had to go to Terminal B, and then the second delivery was towards Terminal C, which is further in that same direction past Terminal B, right? So I thought I was gonna be smart. I was like, I want to play, because I seen all the videos and stuff. Everybody just go and get them big ass towers and shit on your back. I was like, man, realistically, I ain't about to do all that shit. So I was like, all right, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna accept this delivery just to Terminal B, and I'm gonna bring that shit to them. And then at that terminal, I'll accept the delivery to go to C. Because since they can just transport, they show that they can transport shits. So I don't know why they don't send it to the other places. Maybe that's why they need to be connected and shit. But so I accepted the delivery to Terminal B, and I was like, all right, cool. So when I accept the next delivery, I'll be halfway there and shit. All right, cool, because I'm on foot and shit. So I got the boxes, went from Terminal A to Terminal B, dropped it off, got my score, all that shit, cool. I'll go to that terminal to accept that other delivery for Terminal C. It ain't there. I had to walk all the way the fuck back to Terminal A to accept the mission for Terminal C, and I had to go the same fucking direction and shit. Like,
Man,
bro, this dead ass sounds like a
that did not make me want to play that game, Rob. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm like, huh?
Dude, that sounds like you.
I was like, I'm like, so I can't even accept certain deliveries at certain terminals, so I had to go all the way. So it was either I had to carry them fucking towers or I had to make 2 trips. That was, bruh. You thought having to do 2 trips taking groceries in IRL is tedious? I had to walk my ass all the way back to Terminal A to then get the next batch to walk past B further down the C. I was pissed. I was like annoyed as hell, bro.
That sounds like you're at the airport or some shit, bro. I can't.
Yo, for real.
They ain't got no air train to go from one terminal to the next. No.
The whole thing sounds like this. Like, God, it sounds like a job.
The way,
honestly, it doesn't sound like fun. It sounds like a job, and the only thing you get paid in is cutscenes.
Rob, the way you described it to us, you sound like someone who's like been in a job way too long, and you consider that as like something that's like really of importance to you. Like, man, I can't believe it. It took me 16 hours to do that. I'm like, oh my God.
You sound like Chris when he was working peak travel season at the airport.
Oh man, yo, hey, not as that bad. I don't mind going to work when it's busy. Like that thing. Oh God. But yeah. Man. Do we have any other final thoughts about Death Stranding and this debacle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Game Awards.
Oh boy.
Listen, the second you have to like imply that the reason your game for whatever reason didn't do good because of first-person shooters, it's a no. I'm not trying to hear it.
Nope.
Yeah.
But that was mistranslated. That was mistranslated though.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
They mistranslated you.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I'm sure that his interpreter intentionally said the wrong words in Italian that translate directly to that.
I don't understand. I don't get that.
Cause how many ways can you flip that? I mean,
and let's
so what was he really saying that had all that shit in accordance?
Kojima
apparently, okay. So apparently the only thing that was added was the "it flies high" comment, little sentence at the end. But apparently everything else before that is what he said. So everything else about like how it's because they consume first person shooters. I'm like, well, first, Americans consume everything. We're the biggest consumers on the planet. Not only that, but if what he said was true, was like really true, then why has Minecraft, the game with like little to no combat, outsold every single first-person shooter ever and continues to do so? But, whatever, bro.
Why did they give Game of the Year to Telltale's The Walking Dead, a game that barely has any gameplay? It's a story.
Yo, like that surprised the hell out. That was like one of the most surprising moments I can think of in like all my years of gaming. I was like, the thing about it is,
I'm sorry, but everyone that blames COD, it just sounds like something I would hear back in 2011. It's like, bro,
God, yeah,
like, it's either Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever. That's the one thing that irked me too. It's like, I don't think this game looks very fun. Well, then go back and play Fortnite. There are other games. Other games exist.
It's funny that someone who's playing Death Stranding would say, well, I'm like, bro.
Yeah. That that's another thing. That's another fighting tactic they do. The shield for this game, they will drag another game in front of that train. It's like and some just like man, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my final statement on the Death Stranding as well. Like we all are saying you cannot enjoy the game personally. That's not because that's another thing I kind of hate that some people do. A lot of people actually do is, and you can apply this to anything. People shield Death Stranding or the new Star Wars movies or anything. What they do is they shift the narrative to make the hate seem more stupid than it actually is. You know, so that's one thing I definitely kind of don't like, but I don't even want to get into a whole nother rant. I just want to say nobody is saying you personally cannot enjoy the game. That's not even essentially what we're talking about. We're talking about specifically the people that have a position of influence, because if you make a review and it goes towards a combined score, you have a position of influence. And how the shit just don't add up. Especially if you're one of those people that you've been following this industry for a while, and you start seeing people giving praise to this game almost exactly for shit other games got demerits for. And you start and in your brain you just want to go like, what's the difference? And it'd be like, are you just essentially saying Kojima is the difference? Kojima is the damn difference? If so, then that's the real problem right there. The real problem is number one, the complete devaluing of the 10 out of 10 standard. I think a lot of people's standards aren't really that high anymore, because I mean the 10 out of 10 isn't even as a whole isn't even that prestige anymore, because people will just start throwing that shit out just for the sake of
I know.
of short-term hype.
Like Metal
It's
Gear
like,
Solid 5, you remember how that got all those 10s despite not even finished?
That game's literally unfinished and no one can tell me otherwise.
Oh, that's a fact.
like for but the Phantom Pain is the rest of the game.
Hey, yo, don't
Like,
you
it should be there.
Jesus Christ.
The Phantom Pain is the rest of the game, though.
That longing feeling you want for the rest of the game, that's what Kojima intended. All right, bro.
My big thing though is it's the Game Awards, because look, here's the thing: the whole thing is suspect out the gate, because he tossed Jeff Keighley in there. He gave him a role in the game. He gave a bunch of famous people roles in the game, and shockingly, a lot of them turned out to be some of the people who were praising the living crap out of it earlier. Over in Japan, in the Japanese version of the game, he gave people who were on Famitsu's staff cameos
and they
in the game.
They didn't include that in their review.
And guess what? They gave it one of their very rare 100% across the board perfect scores.
And they didn't include
that's bullshit.
Non-disclosure.
That in their review either. So everyone's kind of like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit right there, man. You can't be doing shit like that. Yeah.
But Jeff Keighley's not going to step down from doing the Game Awards. He's not going to step aside as the producer of it. You know that he's going to. I mean, he was in the game. He did live streams promoting the game. He did the countdown stream for crying out loud. And yet, that when it comes to his show, it's going to win Game of the Year. It's going to win Design Awards. It's going to win all this stuff.
Oh God, best performance by a human male.
It will. It will. Bro, and he is going to act all hurt when people cry foul about it. He is. That's how.
I just hope that he has.
He gonna have a disclaimer up on Twitter when the show goes on.
Like I said, he has to have enough just common sense to be like, maybe
No. See, the thing about Jeff is that I don't believe necessarily that Jeff would have done this just because he got a cameo. Because let's face it, he's a Kojima fanboy no matter what. But no, the thing is, Jeff is the kind of person who lacks some self-awareness in certain areas. And he is going to take a look at that and be like, well, I'm not the only person who makes these decisions. So why are you guys saying that this is inappropriate? I technically didn't do anything wrong. And it's just going to be an ugly thing on Twitter, I promise. But yeah, you already know that that's kind of a foregone conclusion. There's going to be controversy surrounding that at the Game Awards.
Yep. Yep. But all in all, that's in general why most people that are like more in the know are coming at this game. It's like you can like it all you want,
Mhm.
but you start throwing out 10 out of 10, 100 scores, people pay attention, and
Mhm.
it's like we just trying to do the math and like, okay, where the hell does 10 come from? Like we got calculators and scratch paper and shit. We can't calculate it. Where the hell did 10
I'm
come in
trying to
at?
connect all the red lines. It's not working.
Exactly, it's like I'm like that baboon on the damn calculator and shit, bro. So I mean, so in general, that's really just it. So I don't want nobody that's like watching this shit to feel like. First of all, when we go in on any game, this is just us talking and shit like that. And it's like you shouldn't have to feel personally attacked because somebody doesn't like something you like because we can't stop y'all from buying it. Y'all can't stop us from buying some shit we probably hype for and shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like you just take people's word for as much worth as they have, and then I mean, eventually, I mean, just take all the few things I've said about it, and and does that work for you? If so, go ahead and get it. If not, save your money, find something else. But uh, that's about all I really got to say about the game. Me personally, it's just another game that came out this year. That's,
Yeah, basically how I want to end off, y'all got to keep that same energy going forward because I have
yeah,
all the receipts now of all the people here, so I don't want y'all be caping for Death Stranding and then let another game come out that's even you know what? You know what? Since we giving 10 out of 10s for everything, every game going forward, 10 out of 10. That's it. That's it.
might as well.
You ain't going to critique about
Well,
nothing.
I just want to say I find it funny how this, you have to experience it. You have to play it before you can
Oh
judge
my
it. You have
god.
to. That sounds really familiar to another game that came out earlier this year.
Oh.
And what people were saying about that,
I
as they were clowned constantly for
I
it.
didn't even know that game had a fan base until someone said it's made for X fans. I'm like, it has fans? It
Are
has.
Yeah.
y'all talking about Trash Down 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like you lose some of your cred and some of your right to clown on other games when you do stuff like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
If
and
I'm saying keep
that's
that
that's
same
one
energy.
thing I'm gonna keep
We're
my
keeping it unbiased here. Keep that same
yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
That's
If
one
you
thing
could,
I'm gonna keep my eye on because when I start seeing games like especially like solid games and games getting gypped, and I'm gonna start seeing why. I'm gonna have two panels up. Like, all right, what you say about Death Stranding?
Just like have that tweet. I just like permanently copy and paste ready.
well, I
Oh
mean,
hell yeah.
you can't judge Crackdown 3 without playing it. Yes, I can. I've seen people play. Well, people seen people play Death Stranding, making judgments on that, but they can't do that. Nope, that's
Oh.
not allowed.
Oh, it's gonna be
Nope.
some great
I'm just
entertainment in
saying.
2020. It's gonna be some
Yeah.
great
Oh
entertainment.
God, Twitter's gonna be all kinds of fun next year.
Heck yeah.
It's funny. Reviews are irrelevant if they say something bad about. I mean, have y'all seen like the absolute hate? And I don't even fuck with IGN, but I just find it funny that every time they put up a Death Stranding video, the comment section is just, "Why y'all still talking about this game? You gave it a 6.8."
I didn't even know the
Yeah.
IGN gave it a 6.8.
Yeah,
Bruh.
but I mean, I'm gonna be honest though. I'm not gonna fault them for whatever, just because some of the points they made in there were like consistent with certain things they docked points for in other games. So
Wait,
it's
and
like,
people are mad that they gave it a 6.8? Oh my
well, I mean, they said that they didn't like the slow burn. They said the same thing about Days Gone though. So it's like, that they have the same energy for. They just don't like slow
Yeah.
burn games.
god.
That's
Somebody
them.
legit, somebody legit hit up an IGN work and was like, "Uh, can y'all start doing like like individual staff reviews because I don't think this one review should represent how all of you feel about the
Oh,
game."
I
And
know. Or a
IGN was
disclaimer
like,
that
"Look,
this is not the news of our entire But it
Stream
was
died.
Oh no, it should be back up. Hold up.
Wait, the stream died?
oh okay. But like no, I mean like God, there was an example of this too. It was like a really really good one, and now it's gone. Oh man.
And
Oh
that's a
yeah.
perfect way to segue into Pokemon until Danny remembers.
Yeah, we gotta get past this shit.
One last thing though, I do find it funny how certain games got docked for having a straight white male protagonist by IGN, but not this one.
yeah. A lot of Walking Dead fans at IGN probably.
All right, so Pokemon. I'm gonna let Chris and Danny go first.
Oh. Sir, it came out yesterday.
Star Wars wasn't controversial. No, sir. No, sir.
Oh no, I can hear you.
Hold on, let me, cause I'm watching the stream through my tablet. Let me see if I can hear you.
Hold on. All right, how about now? I should be good in the stream.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
so.
They said they couldn't hear me. OBS was tripping. Okay. Everyone's like, "Is Neo's mic broken?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
All right.
I'm listening to it now. You sounded, it's a delay. You did sound low earlier.
That's so weird. That was okay, but it should be good now because you guys can hear me fine in the Discord. How? I'm quiet in the stream. What the fuck?
Nintendo got Chris and like, nah, you finna shut up right now.
Hey,
this is what happens when you partner with them. Man.
They're like, hey,
Nintendo. Oh yeah, Nintendo's like, oh, you partner?
Right.
Oh no.
Chris, you good now? Cause I'm listening to it through my tablet. You good?
Okay, cool. They were like, hey, come up off of that shit, fam.
Yeah.
All right, so, bar something crazy happening again. Pokemon Sword and Shield came out yesterday, and yeah, everything that you expected would happen ended up happening. We had a lot of people out there who've been trashing the game for the better part of a year. Y'all been on Twitter posting your unboxings, so it's very interesting.
Who is y'all? Because I ain't do it.
Oh, not you, but I'm noticing there's some people out there. But that being said, I mean, I really don't have much else to say on it because Jamil, you've done way more research into this than I have, so I'm gonna let you continue that and do a little back and forth with Danny. But unless I quell the wrath of the people who say, "Let people enjoy things, Neo. Let people enjoy things," but yeah, I just feel like, as a person who's been playing Pokemon since I was a kid, I said the better part of a year, Jason. The better part of a year. As a person who's been playing Pokemon as a kid and been playing a lot of other games, I feel like Pokemon should be at a higher standard than what it is today. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it. You can have fun, but on some level, you just got to sit here and realize, we deserve much better than what we're getting, especially because we're paying $20 more. $20 more. These aren't $40 games anymore, guys. These are $60 games, and you're really paying for something that you could have got on the 3DS. Heck, I'd say if you downscaled some things, this shit could have been on the Vita. But that's basically it. I'm gonna let Jamil go through.
I just want to clear up one misconception because I researched it. The Pokemon Company is owned by a Game Freak. A lot of people think it's the other way around, but it's not true. In fact, Nintendo owns 32% of the Pokemon Company, whereas the amount that's owned between Creatures and Game Freak isn't disclosed. I'm just going to assume that the other 68% is split between both of them, because that's the only thing that would probably make sense, because I don't imagine. In fact, if anything, Game Freak might own more, only because Creatures doesn't really do game development. They more like assist in helping they actually did the models of Sword and Shield. In fact, they did the models for a lot of Pokemon games and other games. In fact, Creatures under the names of 8 made the first Mother game.
Interesting.
So, yeah, more you know.
Ah!
But yeah, that's all. That's just one misconception I wanted to clear up. I do think that the only real way to like save the series games wise is you just have to give the games their own separate development cycles and just allow them to come out without the pressure from trying to meet the anime and what was it like all the other merchandise. That's where most of the money comes from. Merchandise. The games only make about around, I think Knowledge Hub did a video on this. They said that games only have made around about like 17%, whereas the merchandise have made like 73%.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But still, the games are like right under the merge. Like, if you
the games are right under the merge, but still.
Definitely.
Yeah, but pretty much the Pokemon company just manages the brand. They don't they don't have like any actual ruling power. Though Nintendo is the sole owner of the Pokemon copyright. So if you ever wonder why, I'm not copyright, I'm sorry, trademark. So if you ever wonder why Game Freak and Creatures just don't go put Pokemon on another system, that's why. Because Nintendo's a trademark and they'd have to literally change everything. They couldn't use any of the actual Pokemon or characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I gotta say.
All right. Danny, since you've bought the game.
Twice.
Twice?
What?
Oh, you have both?
Oh, yeah, for Nancy.
Oh, for
Yeah,
okay.
I bought both versions. Nancy gets one, I get one. That's what we do every time one comes out. But
nice.
well, aside from Let's Go,
You mean mid go?
I just
Pokemon Let's Go to the polls.
Let's go to sleep, my nigga.
She bought that one because she wanted an EV. I rented it from Game 5 because everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta pay it." No,
Damn, that
I
thing was
didn't.
really $60 too.
I did not need to play that.
Wait, they charged $60 for Let's Go.
Yes, they did. It's a Nintendo game, bro.
Bro, if you don't get that nonsense out of here.
Bro, you ain't gonna get nothing below $60 on the Switch.
Actually,
Not
Let's
unless
go get
it's a
some
third party.
NyQuil, bro.
Actually, Captain Toad. That was like the only game I was surprised. Oh, you know what's kind of messed up?
Yeah, the game that should have been 20 was like 4.
Captain Toad. Here's the thing I don't understand. Captain Toad. Listen to this. Captain Toad on the Wii U was $40. It came to the Switch. It was $40. They added way more content on the Switch. It's still $40. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, $50 on the Wii U, $60 on the Switch. No new definitive content outside of the freaking funky mode or whatever that shit is. Oh god.
But that
terrible.
being said, I have put a number of hours in this game now.
What do you like about it?
Yeah, what do you like about it?
Well, I mean, it's fun. That's it's a Pokemon.
You just used the word fun. Kojima wouldn't have
fun?
that.
Nah, but it is. It's fun. It's a Pokemon game.
Outside, son.
Like any way you want to slice it, at its core, it's a Pokemon game. So it's gonna be like if you enjoy Pokemon, you will enjoy the game.
Yeah, so basically, it has that safety zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not one of those things where they like tried to drastically change the core of the series or anything like that. And honestly, I think that's part of the problem some people have. But like at the same time, if you like Pokemon, you will like this game. That being said, I'm not going to say it's perfect. There are some things that I do wish they would have allowed, but I want to say this.
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
Danny got that. He got the.
My guy, I wish I was paid off. I do. Oh my God, I would swim in them. If Papa Nintendo wants to rain them dollar bills, I will gladly.
Danny finna be texting me in the next morning.
Danny, it's like they gonna slide him a check. He gonna be caping for all the Nintendo things. He gonna be like,
I wish. But
Sushi
no,
Striker, great game.
Yeah, you would be surprised the things that people will do for a paycheck.
Oh
Damn,
yeah, we
you
see
got
it.
you got you a piece. You got you a piece of that 90 billion, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, stop.
We're gonna see
But
Danny
go
up,
ahead, Danny.
up in them directs.
Well, I mean, technically they did pay me. I am getting $10 back on both.
Oh wait,
Hey.
really? How?
Yeah, well, it was an Amazon pre-order thing.
Oh.
Nice.
$10 credit.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you're not bad.
but so I got $20 coming to me that I can blow on something else that everyone else will probably hate me for buying. But
Hey man, listen.
but no, I mean, look. Here's the thing. There are, like I said, there are some things that I don't like about it, and I do mean like I really don't like about it. I do appreciate that they gave some ways around those, but I think it would have been a lot easier to just outright give the option for. But I do want to say this, especially in terms of like the visuals and everything else. Reddit can shove it. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
what was it? Apparently that one dude in the chat has said Digital Foundry said that graphics and lighting are still better than Sun and Moon
Well,
and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they are. The models too are definitely a step up. I don't care if they aren't all from scratch. You know, I'm not going to argue that one way or the other unless and until someone can get into like the code for past games in this game. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to definitively prove that. I don't think screenshot comparisons. What?
They kind of did, but you can go.
Well, whatever.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Either way, they made them look a lot better. So that much I can appreciate. And I do also appreciate that a lot of people do say that they recycled a whole bunch of animations. They did to a point. But like they also did remake a lot of them, a lot of unique or at least somewhat unique animations for different Pokemon. Like whenever a Pokemon's going to do like a physical attack, they have like a specific unique animation to them. At least for the ones I've been using, like Zigzagoon actually does run in a zigzag pattern, charging at whether it's headbutt, tackle, whatever. So it is kind of recycled in that sense, but it's new. Yamper, I think, is adorable because he actually like squats down like a puppy and wiggles his tail and then jumps. So that's adorable. But overall, you know, like I do wish, like my biggest complaint about this game, and if they hadn't included, you know, the PC link option where you can access it from wherever, would have killed the game for me. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that is cool they did that.
Is the EXP share always being up? That is mad frustrating. I will sit there trying to just level up one low level and I caught that I want to add to my party, and then everybody else is getting over leveled. So if I wasn't able to essentially box them at will and just focus on training that one Pokemon, that would just completely kill the game for me. So that was a razor's edge decision, and that could have gone way bad. They need to really rethink that.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you about that. Like difficulty wise, you know, is it just standard Pokemon?
I mean, it's kind of standard. I think that the EXP share can almost make it too easy at times, but at the same time, like there have been, like when you get into the wild area, you know, you can easily just pull up on a Pokemon that wrecks your entire team in like no effort. So, like I went walking through there, right? And I just gotten there. I had like Pokemon at level 8, 10, 12, around there. And I encountered an Onyx, and I saw it there, and I was like, oh, hey, can I catch that? I ran over there. You can't catch that. That's another thing that's kind of annoying. You actually have to get badges to be able to catch Pokemon above a certain level. It's not just they won't listen to you. You can't catch them with them. But,
oh, wow.
But like, I pulled up on this Onyx, all right? Level 26. And he just absolutely started smashing my team. Thank God I had that friggin' what's it called? Choodle, I think. That little water turtle. Because my God, if I didn't have the fact that he decided to use mostly Screech on him, along with him knowing Water Gun, I would have been dead there. So it's something that can definitely backfire, you know, even if you. So in the end, like, no, I mean, it could be better. It could. And I really do hope that they take some of the at least reasonable feedback to heart and work on that. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that so long as they keep the games on the path that they are now, which is just
pushing them out for the merchandise and
pushing
stuff.
them out for the merge, a 2-year cycle that they're a slave to, and now they're doing what they see. The thing about Pokemon is that the spin-offs used to be handled by HAL Laboratories, so like Pokemon Ranger and everything like that. Those were handled by another studio, which still gave Game Freak their 2-year dev cycle. They don't have that now. Like they started Sword and Shield, and then they had to do Let's Go at the same time, and they had to push that out, and then they had to, after everybody who they pulled from the main project to work on that, they had to bring them back to try to work on this, and that does eat into your dev time when you're a relatively small company. So expansion does need to happen. That's going to be their best friend, but also just take it off such a slavish cycle.
Like it's insane because literally the last main like new generation Pokemon game we got was 3 years ago. Like last new generation, only 3 years ago, you guys, only 3 years ago, and that was with Pokemon Sun and Moon. A year later, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. A year after that, Let's Go. A year after that, Sword and Shield. Like this is too much
for a studio of 143 people. Yeah. Keep in mind, out of that 143, that's employees. That's not developers.
Yeah.
Jason, honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I know you're probably not gonna like to hear it until maybe I explain why. I kind of agree with them, in that I understand why they didn't implement every Pokemon here, why they didn't launch this with the National Dex. I'm not 100% sure, why they can't eventually implement that, other than, again, slaves to the cycle. But I understand why I didn't launch it. And the thing about that, though, is just there really isn't a whole lot of excuse for them not doing it later, or at least eventually. And the fact that they went ahead, though, and said that they're not going to be putting it in, in future games, too. They're just going to mix the ones they do put in. Was not the smartest thing for them to announce at this point, especially since...
They shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, they could... I mean, even if it winds up being the case, at least try just to predetermine that you're not going to do that is not going to go over well, even if... especially since people do not... Okay, here's the thing. I think a lot of developers forget people do not think of games in terms of development simply because, we don't know your internal culture. We don't know your internal cycle. We don't know what kind of pressures are being put on you behind the scenes. You can't talk about that even if we did know that. So it's whatever. There are some things that just talking about it shoots yourself in the foot, and that's definitely one of them. I do understand, though, why they're not focusing on all the Pokemon right now. And honestly, I do think that this game does kind of work out a little bit better for it, though, because a lot of people, one of the problems with like a National Dex, especially one that where you can access it like right away, is that people would not use the new Pokemon because they're like, oh, they, I don't like their designs. I don't like their whatever. I don't like, excuse me, this, that, or the other. And then they're like, I want to bring in all the ones that I grew up with. And then, we start over leveled and then we start, So but they used to fix that by just restricting the National Dex to you can only access it after a certain point in the game. But, it's whatever. This here, I do like that they're kind of focusing on the new Pokemon and giving them a bit more attention because a lot of them have been surprisingly really good. Like a lot of them that I even normally would have just overlooked in favor of bringing in one of my old ones have been surprisingly, shockingly really good. Like I didn't necessarily want that Choodle or whatever. I mean, it looked cool, but if I had the option of bringing in like my one of my Squirtles or my Blastoise instead, I probably would have done that. But because I don't have that option and I have to work with this thing, it surprised me. It's actually a really good Pokemon. But again, I don't see why they're not doing it. it's something that it feels like they could do, but again, it's also something that they probably could do if they weren't being slaves to the 2-year cycle. And now there's risk that a Gen 4 remake is supposed to come next year. Two things on that. If they do it, I honest to God hope that it's a proper like core game style remake and not a Let's Go style remake.
I had a bad feeling about that.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, wait, is it going to be traditional?
Either way, I would either way, I would forego getting that at this point if it meant they could put more focus and time into the next title. But what would be interesting though is a Pokemon game set in like either Australia or Africa.
They got to get out of Europe.
Well, I mean, they've only been in Europe like twice now.
Two generations. Just 6 and
7.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, they did.
No, 3 if you count 8. Yeah, because
Hoenn was.
No, I'm sorry. No, 7 wasn't Europe. What am I saying? 7 was.
Where's this place?
I mean, there was Kalos, which was France, and now there's Galar, which is K. But I don't think they focused on Europe anywhere.
Yeah,
else.
they didn't. 7 was like Hawaii, right?
Alola, yeah, Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. So
and Gen 5 was New York.
No, what's this one? What's this one?
Which one?
The new one, Sword and Shield.
Yeah, Galar. That's the UK, the British
UK.
Isles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Me trying now.
That's one other small annoyance I have with it.
South
Every
America
other
would
game,
be dope. South America would be dope.
Like the nice thing about Sun and Moon was that even though it was set in something that was supposed to be Hawaii, like the most you got were some like cultural references with like clothes and names and everything. But like they didn't try so hard to sell it as that. Just some of the awkwardly implemented British slang that they're kind of putting into this gen is just a little.
Oh, it's too much.
Well, I wouldn't say too much. Just kind of mild cringe. That's all. Just like you could ease up on the gas there, bro. You could. All in all, though, do I feel like I wasted my money? Honestly, I do not. But that's also because I'm getting $10 back on it. I also do want to point out that if you buy these games from Walmart, you get like $10 off by default. So
save you some coin, y'all.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't feel like you want to pay a full $60 for it, that's options. Black Friday is coming up. I do recommend
Nintendo
the game.
No. Black Friday? What?
Yeah. No, it's stores.
Oh, okay, but Nintendo games rarely go on sale.
Oh, I know. No,
Wild is only going to be $40. That's it. It's not going to be like
not from the companies, but from the store themselves. They will do that.
But they don't do. But Nintendo, I swear to God, they have something against retailers discounting their games more than $20.
Oh, I know they don't like that. But I'm saying Walmart by default is $50. They'll probably knock maybe another $10 off it, so you can probably get it for $40.
Yeah.
I mean that honestly though, I do recommend at least playing this. It's not a bad game. It's just there is room for improvement.
Yeah,
there is.
I don't think anyone.
But I don't feel like I wasted my money.
That's good. I don't think anyone's really saying it's like a bad game. It's just it feels half baked, and it shouldn't be considering this is like the first console Pokemon game
from Game Freak.
Mainline Pokemon game. People have been dreaming
There's
about
a standard. There's a standard when you think console Pokemon game. Everybody's brain just starts sparking like, bruh. Like,
I mean, it's the reason why everyone's hyped for.
If it was any console,
everyone's hyped for SMT5, even though we haven't seen anything about it. It's SMT's return to console since PS2.
Yep.
If it was any console but the Switch, I might. But
no, come on, the Switch.
Nah, Chris, I'm sorry. I just,
bro, you can't. No, dude.
Bro, I got low
expectations
for anything.
If the Switch can give us Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, like.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What?
Wait, what happened?
I'm playing Black 2, and she healed her Pokemon, man. Damn it.
Rest in peace. No, I just think that there should be standards, and like I feel like we should be demanding more. And I don't know. I feel like something is prohibiting people from doing that. I feel like.
Oh no! I mean, I would love if they went explored the direction that Coliseum and XD were going on the GameCube. Like
For
move
the
more
longest
toward that.
time, people said that was like their dream Pokemon.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
kind of getting close to that. They put a little bit more effort into like the core games in terms of like storyline than they used to, which is nice because that's I think one of the main reasons people did like the console Pokemon games is they were a lot more story driven. And I do like that they've at least taken an effort to kind of make the core games a bit more story driven. But like just the stuff you could do, the way you could explore and everything,
Okay, I just
how
have
open
one
it
question.
was.
Why does Pokemon Stadium on the N64 have more animations than this game?
Because that was Genius Sonority who made Pokemon
Oh,
Stadium,
man,
and
Genius
I believe, if I recall correctly, they also made what was it, Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. I don't know if they're still around right now, but you actually got someone in the chat.
After seeing what Monolith Soft has done recently, though, I don't want them touching.
Hey,
Monolith, Monolith would not make a good Pokemon game.
Not the way they are now.
What's wrong with Monolith?
You asked me that like 10 years ago.
What's
even
wrong with Monolith?
Yeah.
I think you know what's wrong with Monolith.
What? Wait, we talking about because the performance on Xenoblade?
I think Genius Sonority, if they're still around, should help develop, the next Pokemon game alongside Game Freak, considering they've had experience in it. But Monolith, honestly, I just think Monolith is better with, I don't know, because
I'm very confused.
Look, fellas, let's be real. Monolith Soft peaked with Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans.
No, if you don't get
okay. There go Danny being controversial. Number one, number two.
Damn.
But listen, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was made with a team of less than 100 people, and they were rushed. So for what they had to work with, I'm not excusing the performance. That performance is trash.
They need to fire everyone in that damn art. I swear to God, if any of them are retained and work on that game, I will end that company personally.
Well, damn. Hey, ain't you the one who
Rob Liefeld ass character designs? Hell no.
Okay. Yeah. Not all of them, just one.
Sir.
And not all of them. Okay, they had a lot of guest artists come in. Come on.
Well, then fire them. Never invite them back. I want their names on a blacklist. Like fire them.
Wasn't I think a female described that character you were talking about, bro?
Yeah, fire her.
I mean, Chris, it's just bad design.
In fact, I'm all for women.
I'm not defending that. I ain't defending that, but to say it's not all Monolith, that was a guest art director.
No, Sakurai has to sit on an IV just to finish Smash Bros. Before the deadline.
Yeah, that's not a good.
No, he does not need to be taking on extra workloads.
No, not at all.
That man's gonna literally work himself to death one day. Which is another thing to talk about with Nintendo's developer culture, but we're not going to go there today.
Yeah, we can have a whole discussion on that. Okay, so is there anything else we need to say on Pokemon before we move on to EXO 2019?
Whatever the hell else.
I will say this though. I don't think that for example, some people are saying that, well, if you don't like Pokemon, like go play SMT, and there's someone who has played like almost as someone's almost played every single SMT game. I don't think that's a good like argument, because the reasons you play Pokemon are different from the reasons you play SMT or almost any other type of RPG. And not to mention, like, even if you do like SMT, it won't scratch that Pokemon itch. Exactly. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't be hyped for SMT 5. I just go, buy, Pokemon or Dragon Quest monsters or whatever, monster catching game. But that's the thing. Even Persona 5 doesn't satisfy SMT.
About that, didn't Japan actually get another Dragon Quest monsters game that didn't come here for some
Yes.
reason? Why?
Because Square,
especially the way they're in love with spin-offs selling over here now.
Square.
Okay, you know what? If Square is at all smart, which they're not, so this won't happen. But if they're at all smart, they will, especially with people being kind of dissatisfied with Pokemon right now. This would be the perfect time to announce they're bringing that to the West.
What system was that on?
Yeah, what system was that on, Danny?
I think that was still on the 3DS, but people would still buy the crap out of it.
Yeah, no. Well,
honestly,
here's the thing.
Just port it to PS4 and Switch, up the textures, we good.
But here's the thing, though. They're not going to bring over, because remember, Nintendo brought over the Dragon Quest games on the 3DS. So to get them to think about porting that game 2 other systems and finding someone to localize it. Square does not believe in Dragon Quest outside Japan. They do not.
I mean, you kind of can't blame them considering the fact that 11 had the highest launch sales of the series ever had, and it was only like 100,000.
Well, to be fair though, Jamil, let's talk about Dragon Quest. I mean, we'll spend 1 minute on this, but let's talk about how Dragon Quest has been in the West for like the past 15 years. The last game was on a console.
Well,
the last game was on a console. It was the PS2. Other than that, everything has been handhelds, whether it's the DS or the 3DS. And that's been Nintendo localized. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, well, you got to understand, Square's development culture recently has always been like, basically, portable, mobile, everything else, for a while. Remember, they actually announced that they were going to try to formally shift most of their development to mobile games, and it wasn't until that went like nowhere.
Wasn't that back before the start of this generation, where every developer was like,
that was just like in the peak of, or like in the middle of last
2013,
gen. Yeah, that's when they started with the whole consoles are doomed. Mobile is the future, which is also why I don't buy this whole, regular traditional gaming is doomed. Streaming is the future. No. But it doesn't matter how much the the developers and the publishers want that to happen. If the market says no, they're going to have to say no too.
You just don't understand.
I digress.
The future.
But I digress.
Speaking of the future, I feel that's a great segue to talking about.
One sec.
Okay.
Square Enix's developer culture, though, was all about that. So that's kind of why they pivoted toward that. And that's also kind of why they've been pivoting back toward that, or back away from that, with Dragon Quest recently. But you also got to keep in mind that the last several Dragon Quest games did not sell because, one, they were really the timing that Square and Nintendo keep having with like releasing anything is just terrible. But they released a lot of those games near big
titles, yeah.
But they also did almost nothing to advertise it. Did you know that I actually did not know that there were any Dragon Quest remakes on the DS or the 3DS? Period.
Yep.
Until I saw the ads for the Dragon Quest 8 remake.
That's so criminal.
And even then, I only saw that because I was subscribed to their YouTube channel and saw it. I happened to catch it. I didn't even have notifications on back then. I didn't turn those.
Like, what was it? Dragon Quest 11. Dragon Quest 11 got screwed twice. The original release came out next to Tomb Raider and Spider-Man. And Dragon Quest S came out next to Luigi's Mansion and Link's Awakening.
No, I would say the first run got screwed more because I think it came out the same day as Spider-Man.
Same week, but it still sold more. Anyway,
it sold more than Spider-Man?
No, it sold more than the Switch line.
I'm about to say
it sold more in its first week than the Switch version.
But which version was more profitable?
Well,
if y'all stop making
you keep alluding to things that you cannot even begin to prove.
I can't prove, but I have the numbers. But anyway,
you do not have no numbers.
I have the numbers,
sir.
I have the numbers,
sir.
I'll do it,
sir. I'm gonna have to ask for receipts right now.
I will get you the receipts. I just can't talk about it live.
Oh my God.
But another thing though is that they kind of did some dumb stuff with the Dragon Quest games too. The DS remake of 8, they didn't fully voice it, I think, or almost fully voice it, and they did an orchestral score, and then they didn't even advertise. I knew nothing about it except completely by accident.
I didn't know anything about that thing until it was about to get localized, and I'm like, that's not a good sign.
Exactly. It's like they put all this extra work into it, but then Nintendo, which is technically their job since they're localizing it, didn't do a damn thing to push it. Which is why, to be perfectly blunt, they don't have a lot of faith in Dragon Quest in the West. However, then came the Heroes spin-offs, then came the Builder spin-offs, those did really well. So they're like, okay, fine, we'll take a gamble. And it did.
I'm actually surprised Dragon Quest didn't take off considering the fact that Heroes in Smash.
Yeah. Oh, bro. Bayonetta's in Smash.
Oh, right. Yeah, duh. What am I saying?
Like,
Don't even get me started.
I do want to say...
Speaking of people not buying games.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You would think it would sell
I just
more,
want to jump in.
but yeah. That's true, though.
Oh, well. Maybe Dragon Quest will get its chance with Dragon Quest 12.
An MMORPG.
I mean, 11 is...
Maybe they should do the opposite of Yakuza 7 and just go full like Devil May Cry or some shit.
Nah, maybe that's
I mean, they kind of did that with Dragon Quest Heroes, which is...
Yeah, Dragon Quest Heroes is pretty much like an action game.
It is. It's very Muso, but it's unique enough in Muso.
It's a Muso. Yeah, I played it. The first one. It's a Muso.
You gonna play Persona Scramble, right? You gonna play that, right?
Chris.
No.
I normally wouldn't push you to play a genre you like, but I'm gonna this time just because.
Listen, I've tried.
It's a story sequel.
But listen,
it's an actual sequel. You need to play it, bro.
You know what? So was Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and I wanted to shoot
myself.
You played it. I wanted to shoot myself during that story.
No, okay, let me put it this way. That was a sequel in name only. That was like the most unimportant crap.
Oh, that story was
This actually has some heavy stuff to it. It legit has meat.
Yeah, I'll check out that meat on the Wikipedia. Anyways, so... Moving along to
X-Zone 19?
X-Zone 19. All right. So let's talk about the highlights. Xbox.
X gonna give it to you.
I am so glad.
That's so cute.
I am so glad I didn't watch this show live.
I watched that shit and I want my time back. I should go whoop Microsoft ass, bro. Like, are you kidding
me? Bro, the saddest thing about X-Zone 19 is that aside from Halo Reach finally coming to the Master Chief Collection.
Yes.
And honestly, Age of Empires 4, every single big announcement there was third party at their own show.
The biggest announcements were Yakuza, Kingdom Hearts, and
Final Fantasy go to Game Pass.
Yeah, here's the thing. I would have loved it if they would have just... Okay, here's the thing. I love Yakuza. Love it a lot. I want it to do well. If they had just announced it was coming to Xbox and left it at that, I'd be, okay, whatever, happy enough. I genuinely don't think hardly anyone in that audience is going to buy it because most of them only ever wanted it, so it wasn't exclusive anymore, which is why most of them shut up once it hit PC and still didn't buy it. It was mostly the PC guys buying it, which kudos to them. They actually bought it. Thank you. But then they announced they're putting it on Game Pass too. And it's like, the second I heard that, I knew that any sales that this thing could have potentially got from that, gone.
Straight up.
They're just they'll check it out and then they'll say, oh, this is too weird, this is too corny, this is too good. And they won't.
Too much reading. That's what they say. Too much. I'm like,
too much reading, bad navigation, repetitive combat, all that shit.
Yep.
Listen, all I got to say is, if they can't complain about not having Japanese games, but also if you look at it historically, Japanese games sell the least on a Microsoft platform.
That's because they don't really complain about not having Japanese games. Complain about Japanese games that people like being exclusive to one platform.
Like, bro, the fact that Devil May Cry 5 came out on Xbox still shocks me when I know Devil May Cry 4 and the DMC reboot did not sell a lot on those consoles.
The funniest thing is when they, get the marketing deals for this stuff. Like, Phil Spencer has shelled out money, for the marketing deals to Code Vein, for the marketing deal to the last couple Dragon Ball Z games, for the marketing deals to a lot of Bamco stuff, for the marketing deals,
Jump Force,
and yet they still buy more on the PS4.
Since he's wasting money for marketing deals, can you get the marketing deal to pay my rent? Like, I'm like, bro, you're just throwing money everywhere.
Well, I mean, it's stupid too, because it's like, your audience clearly isn't interested in this. Why are you throwing money to bring it? you're not going to
that's
draw the
like-
people who like those games over to you because it's still on the platform they're on, along with other games that you don't have yet.
Yeah,
Or
that's
whoever
like
has.
when PlayStation, well, like PlayStation guys get hyped to watch the fucking Microsoft E3 conference because they like shit. I'm trying to see what we all get.
Basically, yeah. Because they're like Sony showed us all the exclusives, so now Microsoft is gonna show us all the other stuff we can play.
Like
That
when that
being-
Kingdom Hearts 3, like when that Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer came out, I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's
facts.
nice.
Wait, well, didn't we get 2 Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers that
Yes,
year?
we did.
We got 2 that year.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Or like, what was it? Oh no, when Microsoft announced what was it, Tales of Arise or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, we got Tales game. Thanks.
I will say this though, the one thing that I'm looking forward to in all this is watching Smooth try to figure out the Kingdom Hearts storyline.
Oh,
Oh,
that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. No, it's gonna. I ain't going. Honestly, I'm
This
just-
man about to break out actual charts and have a live stream discussing this.
I'm actually gonna be very
it's gonna happen.
interested in terms of the Kingdom Hearts games being on Xbox because I'm curious because the reaction commands, they're triangle and they're green for it. Are they gonna change it in game or they're just gonna have the button be what is that? Y? That's
Well,
gonna look
it's
mad weird.
That's a good point.
okay. Here's the thing. Number one, it's square, so anything that they don't have to put effort into, they won't.
So it's just
Number
gonna be
two,
like they're not even gonna change the color. It's just gonna be like
number
gray,
two.
gray.
Honestly, number two, too. You got to keep in mind that the whole reason Yakuza and Kingdom Hearts are probably both coming is that Microsoft agreed to pay for the
Of
development
course,
cost,
yeah. That's the only
Oh
reason.
yeah,
That's the
they
only reason.
didn't do this because they wanted to.
No,
and might even actually provide the manpower to do it.
that's honestly what it is.
But so aside from that, look, let's be real. There's a reason that these Japanese games got announced, okay, and they got announced it's coming to Game Pass, and they got announced for Project X Cloud, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be able to use the Shock 4 for X Cloud. Like, come on, there's a reason that they know that the controls and everything are probably going to be a lot easier and a lot cheaper for them to just bring with the native inputs, and here you go, figure it out yourself, or just use their controller. We don't care.
Hey man, like I said, let's give me my Kingdom Hearts games on PC.
Basically, and that's what I'm actually excited about. Because I was surprised why they didn't do this soon enough. Because, like, regardless of whether or not it sells, I feel like if you were announcing a Kingdom Hearts 3 for Xbox, you should have brought the collection over at least when you ported the games over from PS3 to PS4. Because you're already working with the x86 architecture, so bring it to Xbox.
Well, I mean, there
bring
was
it to
that.
PC, huh?
There was that rumor, though. Remember that the reason they couldn't bring the HD collections over was because they used for Birth by Sleep, they were supposedly using a proprietary emulation.
Emulator for Sony's proprietary.
So I'm actually very interested in the behind the scenes of how they managed to pull that off then, because that almost sounds like something that they would either have to find a whole new way to emulate it, which means the performance on that could be terrible, or Sony would have had to sign off on it, which would also mean that Sony potentially gets a cut of whatever they make off.
You never know. But yeah, so I'm not too like this whole thing. Phil Spencer, honestly, what it comes off to me is him doing this is he's just trying to like make strides to bolster the Japanese support. But the thing at the end of the day is like, he's trying to chase the Japanese, like literally the Japanese, like, oh, the Japanese, we want the Japanese. But the thing is, Japan
don't want you, Phil.
They don't want the Xbox, and you putting old games is not going to convince them to buy it. So who's he trying to preach to now? The audience outside Japan?
But
the audience outside Japan has made it known this whole generation, like, they don't support it.
Chris, you got to remember, it's Japan. They racist against American companies, except for Apple. And Taco Bell and McDonald's KFC and
Burger King,
Marvel and
Burger King.
Burger
DC.
I mean,
actually, DC's not that big over there. Believe it or not,
Batman's pretty big.
No, believe it or not.
Nah.
Nah, he's big. No, he's big, but he's not Spider-Man big.
Oh no, I mean Spider-Man's huge.
Yeah, no,
like,
but
Spider-Man.
Batman's
They were sticking Spider-Man in games that he had nothing to do with.
Attack on Titan.
I mean, I just wish that he would like just realize that like, hey, certain demographics just sell on better on different platforms. Is what it is. You wouldn't put an RTS game on like it, or that's why RTS games aren't popular on consoles. They're popular on PC.
I mean,
Yo,
look,
like,
I understand what Phil's doing, though. I
Yeah.
understand, and I understand him kind of reaching out and trying to, build bridges and everything. At the same time, I wish he would just kind of accept the fact that he's chasing a market that doesn't want him.
yeah.
He's trying to put out games that his core demographic does not want. And it's all because of internet chatter. Like,
Basically.
ignore it. You so what? You only made Halo, Gears, and Forza. Yeah, okay. So the people who aren't interested in that won't come there. But at the same time, the people who are there, they were into that. Fine. Expand on that. Make that better. Make it different. Make it, expand on that.
Yeah.
Instead, they just kind of let those stagnate, and now they're chasing everything else to try to draw people in who are getting most of what he's offering where they already are and more. It's just not.
I just find it funny how he's basically like the whole tether they put on Dragon Ball games specifically. Yeah, I always thought it kind of seemed kind of try hardy. Remember, that was like the first time we got that Fighters trailer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now the whole thing with Kakarot, with them, just taking the marketing and just.
Oh yeah, and they're making sure that those Xbox buttons are very pronounced up on that screen. And they even throw up the whole controller and everything, which I find hilarious because then you look at one of the events that Bamco attended in Europe, and the demo they had up was the PS4 version.
Uh-oh.
You look at all the events in Japan where they were demoing these games, and it's the PS4 version. It's
Exactly.
just you look at the copies. You look at the copies even that most people review, and
the
PS4 version.
Shit.
I mean, I look at it this way, bro. That XO19 was a great, marketing for a PS4, a gaming PC, or a Switch. That's all I got.
Okay. Here's the thing. I will give them credit for two things. Number one, oh my god, Age of Empires 4.
Yes.
That shit looks
I was like the biggest Age of Empires nerd. I was so sad when it died after 3. I actually liked what they did in 3. I liked that they kind of moved to another point in history. I'm really hoping that 4 doesn't just go back to medieval because 2 is the most popular, and so they want to recapture that. I'd like to see them cover a much broader scope of history. That would be incredible, kind of like what they did in Rise of Nations, but more fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited either way. I'm so hyped. Like, you can actually have units patrolling your damn walls now. But anyway, but the other thing that I like is they pretty much killed Stadia.
Straight up.
They murdered Stadia. Like, Stadia already was going to struggle, but what they did with their service is basically murder it. Between that and PS Now actually improving, I don't see Stadia taking off. I really don't. And what I find funny, though, is all the articles apparently took the opposite opinion and decided that between xCloud and Stadia, PlayStation Now wasn't even going to live to see the middle of next. Now that's a take I find funny.
Also, I guess this is something like you. So this kind of goes into Google's work culture. They're very open to accepting new ideas. So when
allegedly,
allegedly. Oh well, this basically kind of goes behind Stadia or whatever. Basically, if you get a product and it launches, you get a bonus for that. Whoever came up with it or whatever. But the thing about Google is does it not worry people that they're gonna drop support, because Google is infamous for dropping support on a lot of products.
Yeah, look at Hangouts.
Hangouts, freaking what was that thing they did? What was it, Google Plus?
Oh no, yeah, that Google Plus.
Oh my
god,
Jesus Christ!
Forced integration with your YouTube account. All of your YouTube comments are now tied to your Google Plus account.
Yay!
Those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
And it made comment threads like a nightmare for a while.
Oh god, I remember that. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say they were perfect before because it was just like long streams of at so-and-so, at so-and-so, at so. I will say that I do appreciate them finally just caving in and copying the Facebook thread method.
That's basically just
Because that,
Yeah.
but like before that, it was like a mess. It was already kind of a mess, and then they made it a worse mess, and then they finally fixed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that went nowhere, and it doesn't. And they're doing the same thing with Stadia because part of what killed Google Plus is it was supposed to compete with Facebook, but it had less than half of the features of Facebook. Stadia has less than half of the features of consoles, but it's launching to compete with consoles. Even their hardware, they describe what they put into their servers, and it's like, yeah, it's better than what we have right now this gen, but it's already worse than what we know is going into Scarlet and the PS5. So those servers are already outdated on a shelf, which is the real reason that they're forcing the launch now instead of when all the features are done. Oh wow, we just segued into Stadia.
Yay, perfect.
Yeah, but like half the features they promised that they pitched this thing on aren't going to be there at launch. You cannot even play this thing on your Chromecast unless it's one of the brand new models or one of the models that came in the Founders Edition or whatever, or that came with the Stadia controller. If you have an older Chromecast and you just bought the controller, you will not be able to use Stadia until they push out their end of the year update at the end of December. When you can finally play Stadia, you will have a whopping 12 games to choose from, almost all of which I can promise if you wanted to own, you already own on one of the other consoles.
Oh, yeah, 12 games. Let's get it.
And guess what?
What's up?
1/4 of those are the Tomb Raider trilogy. Seriously, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's 3 of your 12 games right there.
Yo, fuck them games, man. Like,
I think like the newest ones that they're gonna have on the service are Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Like they said, they got EA to sign onto this. Okay, where's Star Wars? Where's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? It's already out. They could easily launch it on there. They're not going to. Why? Sounds to me like the publishers are scared. Sounds to me like, despite their insistence, they sold out their Founders Edition twice, that they might not have had that many units available to begin with. It sounds like anyone's stupid enough to hire Phil Harrison to run your entire gaming department to whatever.
Always Phil Harrison. Like, the second he keeps moving around from one company to the next, I'm just like...
Phil Harrison screws a bunch of stuff up for Sony. They fire him. Microsoft hires him because they think he can give them some dirt on PlayStation. He gives them minimal stuff, screws stuff up for them. They fire him. What's Google do? Hire him for the same reason Microsoft.
Always.
And the same thing's happening.
Hey, man.
The difference...
Hey, man, could not be my company.
Yeah, it's... But the thing is, Google is just like, oh my god, like, can we just talk about the features that aren't even going to be there at launch?
Go
like,
for it.
Like, they're not going to have their family plan. If you buy a game, it's only going to be tied to your account. So if you want to buy games that will fall under a potential family plan, you will have to wait until it's implemented to buy anything, or you will have to rebuy it with your family plan active. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, 4K game streaming on PC will not be there at launch. They're going to be limited to 1080.
Oh Lord.
This is like
the free version that they said you don't have to pay a subscription fee for. Not going to be launching till next year. Like, and they don't even have like a hard window for that. It's just supposedly early next year.
Yo, this is like $599 tier shit, right?
Oh no, it's worse than $599. This is Ouya tier.
This Engage tier.
Do not insult the Engage like that.
I'm dead.
I know y'all didn't think y'all hear that shit tonight. The Engage, bro.
the end gauge, at least, you know what? At least it doubles as a nice mortar when it finally starts melting. So a lot of
y'all
people
wasn't trying to play Tomb Raider on the go back then.
a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of the old cheaply made handheld consoles back in the day, they're literally melting.
Wow.
Ew.
Like they're actually deteriorating and melting away. It's there's a video on it. I'll send it to you guys later. But like, wow. But yeah, and like the other thing though, going a little bit back to the Microsoft thing, is that most of their first party offerings that they're showing, while it's nice that they're trying to diversify a bit, do not look like AAA. And that's slightly
World's most powerful console, guys.
I mean, that I'm going to be honest and say that for some of them, that's okay. That's fine, because some of these games were already in development when they bought those studios, so they didn't have the funding, backing, whatever. Rare's IP, though, Rare does have the funding and backing Microsoft have for years, and theirs looks like if you made Horizon for like the GameCube.
Damn.
In fact, you remember when Microsoft Games actually did have that job listing that specifically described the game they were working on as basically a Horizon-like game, which they pulled down real fast when people criticized them for literally cribbing from Horizon? I think that's that game.
Hey, wait. Well, which game is that? I might have missed that one.
Oh God, what is Rare's new one called?
Isn't it
Everwild. There we go.
About to say that.
Yeah.
When you look at like a lot of the environment,
it
it literally looks like they copied straight from Horizon. Like even the way you hide in like the longer like reeds or flowers or whatever that are like red, they're kind of there in this one too, but they're like a pinkish color instead.
Shit like that is why they not gonna prevail. You gotta stop going. Give me that. You gotta make the new thing.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. It's like it's pretty and everything, but it just feels really Me Too.
Right.
You know, like if they had honestly, if they had like just gone with something completely different, or even something, God forbid, linear, but stylized like that, that could have been incredible. It looks pretty, and I'm not even going to say it's a bad game. I'm not, because I haven't seen nothing of it yet, aside from trailers. Could still be a really good game. It's just that it's always going to have that Me Too one. You know?
Speaking of Me Too, Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, Me Too. Let's go with that. As in Me Too, I got that subscription popping. So
Disney Plus, man, Disney Plus is great.
Disney Plus
I'm not even
shit.
going to front about that.
I don't have it yet.
Bro, you know what? I'll tell you what. Are you getting it?
Maybe.
Okay, tell you what. I've actually got a spare profile on my account. If I give you the login, try it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $6. I can get it.
Nice.
Okay, but it would trust me when I say it is every penny that I am not spending, because I got it free with Verizon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh wait, I have Verizon, so I get it free.
Verizon-
Do you have a hang on? Do you have a Verizon?
Well, you cut out.
So you have to have a Verizon mobile plan. So you have Verizon for your phone?
I do.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, so hit up.
Is it an unlimited plan?
Yes.
Yes, then yes, you get it free for a year.
You know
Hey,
what
hey!
sucks?
You go to their website, log in. They'll take you to a page where they actually, you can use it on an already existing account, but it works best if you just set up the account with it. But yeah, they give you a code, you get it free for a year.
You know what really sucks is that I have Verizon Fios, which is the home, internet, data, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No Verizon Fios for me. It's only for new customers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that sucks because like I worked to get Fios in my house because it's not offered everywhere, you know?
Oh man, that are you 100% sure it's?
I'm positive. I hit up Verizon customer support because everyone was like, "Yo, that's bullshit." Like, you know, only for new people who sign up. Like, it's you know.
Well, I don't understand why that would only be new customers, but the mobile plan. Oh, probably because it's a phone app too.
Could be.
Probably. But yeah, if you got a Verizon unlimited, unlimited talk and text, unlimited data, one of those plans, hit up their website, and there should be a banner that'll take you to a page where you basically get a free year of Disney Plus.
That's actually pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
I heard The Mandalorian's great.
Yo, I
is,
would love
bruh.
to spend some time talking about that, but it's 2 a.m.
No, we're gonna.
No, I would, but it's about to be 2 a.m. and your boy, I gotta.
Oh yeah.
Well, then we're
11,
gonna.
right? So
No,
you're
I'm saying we're gonna. I'm gonna talk to them about it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Not everything's about you.
Who knows? We might see the return of this man Danny D's World on the YouTubes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like, this is one of those things where, like, it is the first thing I have genuinely been able to find myself enjoying that's Star Wars related since The Last Jedi. And I don't mean stuff that's come out since The Last Jedi, for the record, Chris. I mean, like, I have a hard time even watching the original trilogy.
Really?
But I can watch this.
Wow, that's crazy because I just watched the original trilogy last week and I loved it, bro. I was like I was a kid again.
It's hard for me knowing what
comes
they
next.
do to
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it is.
You underestimate my power, Danny.
I mean, I've got no problem with them killing characters and everything. Like, I was fine when Han died and how they handled that.
I still am not okay with that. I am not okay.
I mean,
with
it's sad, but I'm fine with it in terms of like a narrative device. But
bro, I just out of all the character deaths in Star Wars, I literally like.
well, I mean,
shrieked.
I knew it was coming. I half expected it though, because Harrison Ford was like really pulling for them to kill off Han.
He's been trying to kill off Han.
Return of the
He's
Jedi.
been trying to kill off Han since like that first movie.
Well,
This is the first movie.
he thought that it would give him a more interesting arc to, like, live as a scoundrel, but then die this heroic death for a cause that he said was a joke before.
What is it about everybody being like George Lucas was done with Star Wars by the time they hit Return of the Jedi? Harrison Ford was done with Han. Like what the fuck? It was only a few years.
Well, Lucas wasn't necessarily done with Star Wars, which is he didn't really want to be as hands-on with it.
Yeah.
Aside from the most hands-on that Lucas was with Return of the Jedi, funnily enough, was the Ewoks.
Oh God.
And the stuff on Endor.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's honestly where the movie started to suffer. I still can't. The little fuzzy teddy bears took down Stormtroopers.
No, I love those things, bro. Like that, you see stuff like that in real life all the time. You've seen like primitive armies be able to help push back much more advanced.
But fuzzy teddy bears?
Yes, Ewoks are cool. I mean, how are they?
So,
I mean, they ain't too much different from Wookiee.
I'd rather Wookiees.
With that friggin' Tarzan yodel Chewbacca.
Hell yeah.
yeah, I had I showed my girlfriend all 6 of the movies, and she keep bringing up that so we're gonna watch the 7th one, right? I was like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know whether we take that next.
You know
step
what the thing
or not.
is? Here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. I can always go back and rewatch The Force Awakens. I don't care what people say. It's a rip off, a New Hope 2.0. I love The Force Awakens because, bro,
dude, that was hype,
dude.
man.
I don't think there's been a happier time in all Star Wars fans like recent years, like The Force Awakens hype. Do you remember how pure it was,
dude?
Oh God, I
still today. I just watched it a few days ago, actually. Force Awakens, the 3rd trailer. I watched that trailer.
I love that trailer.
I think part of the reason too that this hurts as much as it does is I was so hesitant and reluctant to get back into Star Wars after they canned the old expanded universe and everything. And it hurt me because I grew up on all those books. I read those like religiously. That they were amazing. And then it's like all these stories and characters you grew up with, they never happened. And that did take me a while to finally get over. And I was like so apprehensive about coming into the new stuff. And I resisted it even to a point for a while. And then it's like, you know what? Why not? I'll give it a shot, but I don't think I'm going to like it. And then I wound up being like, hey, these books, they're kind of good. These comics, they're pretty good. This is kind of okay. And I finally let myself adjust to the idea, and I finally started looking at it differently and seeing, okay, they had a point here. I understand why they did this. And then I finally, got actually excited for the series again. And I also got excited for this big unknown in front of me and all the potential it held.
Mm-hmm.
Then The Force Awakens came out, and I loved that movie so much. Bro, you know how much I love that.
Yo, I love it was, oh man.
I talked your ear off for like several hours.
Dude, we did a
about
whole
how much
podcast just about that movie.
And I was so excited for for the books that were out after that and the comics that were out after that. You remember I was actually pestering you to get on that.
Oh, I did. I bought. Which one did I buy? The one that took place after Return of the Jedi.
That's almost everything.
Sorry, no. It's the one that literally the cover is literally the photo of the very end of Return of the Jedi, where they're all at the campsite.
Oh, the comic about.
You cut out, Danny.
That comic about Poe's mom.
Yeah, I believe that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And it just all that awesome stuff, and it's just. And The Last Jedi comes out, and I'm actually excited for it, and I want to see what they're going to do. And I'm watching Rebels, and I'm reading the books and the comics, and all this stuff looks like it's going to be so good. And Battlefront 2 is going to have a story mode, and it's actually going to...
Oh, did it have a story mode?
And it's actually going to tie into stuff, man. And things are looking so good, and then...
Yeah, but you ain't got to play it no more because now we got an audiobook.
Yep.
Well, the audiobook is actually a prequel to the game's campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the game's campaign.
Nope.
Damn.
Prequel.
Oh man.
But what's in or is it a sequel? I forget. It's one of the two. Anyway, but yeah, then there was actually a Battlefront novel that came out before, and apparently that actually was going to be an adaptation of what was going to be the campaign for the first Battlefront game. That wound up not making the game, but if you ever want to read that, the campaign. And it's actually a pretty good book. It was. But yeah. Then, see, the first leaks, too, for The Last Jedi, when that hit, I think you might recall I was in so much denial over that.
Yeah, you refused to believe it. You're like, no.
I refused. Nope. I said that. They wouldn't be this stupid. They wouldn't do this. They would not do that to these characters. They would not do that to Luke Skywalker. They would not do that to the fans who were invested in these new characters. And they did. They did. He did. Ryan Johnson did. Just
that was one of the biggest surprises in life. Yeah. It's like I think I felt like in my particular theater felt like a whole shift at some point. Like. I think it started when the Leia Poppins moment, yeah.
Feed the bird.
I think a lot of people just like you could almost feel the energy in the air. It was like, yo, what's going on right now?
Yo.
And part of me feels like too they're trying to capitalize off people's nostalgia for that movie. No, because here's the thing: when you watch The Last Jedi. Like one of Luke's last lines in there is, "I will not be the last Jedi." He's obviously referring to Rey.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that it's the way the movie is framed, the way the story is framed, etc. Now they're out there trying to say, "Oh, that was referring to Leia. Leia was going to be the last Jedi." It's like, bro, just let her memory rest with dignity. Stop doing
right. So before this becomes an
even
more
Star
expanded.
Wars,
yeah, and I'd love to do that, but it is getting pretty late over here, so we might as well just wrap this one up for tonight, gentlemen. Alrighty, it's as always, it's great chopping up with y'all. I'm let y'all do your outro, starting with Danny. Where can they find you?
I'm mostly on Facebook and Twitter right now, but I might be doing some YouTube stuff again soon, assuming Google doesn't, delete my account because it's not profitable enough for them or something.
Oh man,
yeah, that's a thing that's coming.
Yeah, unfortunately. Alrighty, and what about for you, Rob?
You can catch me on Twitter at young_rots, YUNG_ROTTZ. I guess I can go ahead and say, as far as YouTube, I have this video in the chamber that I've been editing, and I don't know if I'm gonna upload it because I think it's too damn long.
No, don't worry about that, bro.
So I might add a little something in the chamber though. But I've been looking at it for like the past week, and I'm just like, man, am I gonna upload this?
You can't tease us with this and then not put it up, man.
Yeah, I guess more than likely I'm just have to go ahead and do it. Yeah.
All right. And Jamil.
Mainly on Twitter at God of Shortman.
I love that
He
username,
sounds
bro.
so damn
I
tired,
love that
bro.
username.
I would like to make a video, but if I do make a video, it's gonna be a grand opening, grand closing type of deal because my channel's probably gonna get deleted.
Oh
but
man, it's depressing.
Yeah, but I think I could I would want to try to put one out before the year ends, just for old time's sake.
Alrighty. Well, we will be.
Well, I should probably real quick. I never even mentioned what my Twitter. My on Twitter, I am just no spaces.
You're kind of cutting out on my end, but it's at Danny D's World, right?
Yes.
It cut out the whole.
Yeah.
All I heard was my Twitter, no spaces.
They'll be like at no spaces.
At no spaces.
I love it. All right, y'all. So we will be back next month for the year-end podcast, and as we do with every year-end podcast, we have a lot of topics to discuss. If anything, we might try to do 2, because I think last year we did 2, like 2 3-hour podcasts.
Yeah, we did one that like counted. And
did it cut out for y'all too?
Yeah.
So what did you say, Danny? So I know we did 2 of them. Like one was like top games and other stuff, and the other one was like.
I think. Am I still cutting out?
No, you good now.
Okay. I think what we did was we did like the top 10 whatever or top 5 or whatever, like games of the year, movies of the year, etc. And then afterwards, after midnight, we did like a New Year's kind of BS session.
Yeah, just like free flow Q&A, which we'll probably do next time. So just judging based off of the schedule of things, we'll probably try to do the first podcast, I would say probably definitely before New Year's hits, and the second one we'll try to aim for roughly I don't know if we'd be, because again it all depends on things and how they structures, but you guys are getting 2 podcasts next month, so don't worry, it'll just depend on when we do it, but one of them will definitely be on I think they'll probably both be on Saturdays. Most likely,
I guess.
unless we can figure out another day. If people have like more free time, we might. Either way, we're gonna get 2 of those done, y'all. We out. As always, it's a pleasure chatting with y'all. Thank you guys so much for coming to the stream, and we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Good night.